I want to talk about everything that's been happening involving Claressa Shields and Papoose. Once again, I don't have anything against Claressa Shields personally. I don't dislike her at all. But there always seems to be something unusual surrounding her. I'm not even referring to the situation involving Remy Ma. That's a separate story that's definitely interesting and to many people open to question, right? My bigger concern is something else entirely. It feels like she's constantly caught up in unnecessary drama. And it's not just with celebrities like Gervonta Davis or other public figures. A lot of the issues also seem to involve members of her own family. Hear me out. Sadly, her great-grandmother recently passed away. During the funeral, there was reportedly some kind of conflict involving one of her older cousins, and the situation unfolded like this.
She was cool, and my auntie went and picked her up. You in a big bad wolf, y'all little don't bother me. Y'all don't bother me at all. In the morning, I'll be on the plane, and I have made arrangements. I have made arrangements for your kids since you want to stay in Flint for 2 days. 3 days actually, miss your flight, and then you want to catch a Greyhound back, and you got a 1300 first class flight back to Atlanta. I'm telling you, this girl about to get cut off, bro. I'm telling you, and I already told her ass. Soon as you jump online, lying on me again, I got something for you. You don't get to get on here and lie and say that I done stuff to you that I didn't do. Then you want me to pay your bills, bro. You don't get to do that. If you want to go back to Flint and live in the Regencies, baby, go back. The fuck I want is my peace, bro. Peace. I want my peace. I want my quietness. That's all I want.
So, according to the story, she had her cousin removed from their great-grandmother's funeral, later put her sister out of the car in Flint, Michigan, and then went live online where she criticized her sister in front of her children. That's the sequence of events being discussed. Situations like family disputes playing out publicly aren't exactly rare, especially when emotions are running high. After all of that, her cousin eventually decided to respond.
Stop lying. What you do is lie. So your security guard didn't knock my. First of all, I got to the room. It was me was leaving out the goddamn room. I went and got my shit. Do you want somebody to? You always want to twist the damn narrative. Say what happened. You and your security guard weird as think supposed to. No, that ain't how the go. I wouldn't have had to get in the car with T Tammy or none of that if you would have let me in the car. You put my shit out the car. Or did you not remove my suitcase out the car? Your security guard knocked my food out my mom and talking about some, I can't get in his car eating this, and knocked my mom out my hand with the door. And y'all know I'm a antagonizing ass. My food ain't hit the ground, so I ate that and I was drunk anyways. I didn't want to. Why wouldn't I want to go home? Why wouldn't I want to go home? Like, make it make sense. Sounds. You always want to twist the narrative.
Now, the cousin might actually be the one causing the problem. That's entirely possible, right? But here's where I think people miss the bigger picture. The other person isn't always the problem every single time. That's what stands out to me. And I genuinely believe this. If someone like Papoose truly had everything lined up in his life, had his finances in order, and got a close look at this kind of family dynamic, I don't believe he'd willingly step into it. Even if Claressa wasn't the one at fault, there's no convincing me that a grown man in his mid-30s or 40s would knowingly embrace this level of dysfunction. Fellas in the comments, especially those from the Black community, let me know if you agree. Drop a 1. And while you're here, don't forget to subscribe and follow. Most men can recognize these warning signs from a mile away, and under normal circumstances, they wouldn't want any part of them. It doesn't matter how attractive someone is or how strong the physical chemistry may be. At some point, you have to separate yourself from that environment. That's where a lot of brothers make a costly mistake, especially when they're in a financially unstable position. Instead of acknowledging the red flags, they convince themselves everything will be different. They say, "She would never do that to me," and keep moving like nothing's wrong. That's exactly where they're mistaken, because eventually they're the next person caught in the middle. I've watched too many men ignore obvious warning signs, especially when those issues are already happening inside the family. I remember dating a woman who was absolutely beautiful. The attraction was definitely there, no question about it, but it always seems like those situations come with something else attached. In her case, there were constant problems between her and her mother. They couldn't get along, and the family drama never seemed to stop. Before you realize it, you become emotionally invested in conflicts that were never yours to begin with. It starts draining your energy. It's been a long time since I dealt with something like that, but I remember exactly how it feels. Instead of focusing on my own goals and responsibilities, my attention slowly shifted towards somebody else's problems. Suddenly, I'm worried about how she's feeling every day. If she's upset, now I'm upset. If she's stressed, now I'm carrying that stress too. Then eventually, when the two of you have your own disagreement, she reconnects with the same family she was arguing with before. Years ago, I had a guy on my podcast. He was Ugandan American, and over time, I noticed him doing things that just didn't sit right with me. At first, I brushed it off because I kept thinking, well, he's never done anything to me. Then one day, I realized I'd been wrong the entire time. While he was creating problems for everyone else, he had also been doing things behind my back all along. I convinced myself it wasn't affecting me, but in reality, I was dealing with the consequences the whole time without even knowing it. That's when I learned an important lesson. I wasn't the exception. The same principle applies in unhealthy relationships. A woman dealing with constant dysfunction may not intentionally bring that chaos into your life, but sooner or later it reaches you, because dysfunction has a way of spreading. A lot of brothers stay trapped in unhealthy situations for one of two reasons: low self-esteem or financial struggles. And when I say financial struggles, I'm also talking about a lack of discipline, poor work habits, and an inability to stay focused. It isn't always about lacking talent. Sometimes it's simply a matter of not applying yourself consistently enough. When that's the case, you end up accepting whatever environment you're already surrounded by because you don't believe you have better options. Then some guys convince themselves the answer is becoming a passport bro and moving somewhere else. They think changing countries will magically solve everything. But that's just not true. I've seen plenty of men travel overseas only to end up in the exact same type of situation they were trying to escape. Wherever you go, people are still people. It's kind of like ordering a Big Mac. No matter what country you're in, it tastes mostly the same. Sure, there are little differences here and there, but the foundation never really changes. I remember going to McDonald's in Poland when I was studying histology. That was actually the first place where I saw those touchscreen ordering kiosks. I'd finish lab wearing that dusty white coat, head over there, order my Big Mac or maybe a double cheeseburger, grab some fries, and enjoy it. The reason I liked it so much was that it reminded me of home. The same thing happened when I ate Burger King in Poland, or Popeyes while I was in South Africa, or visited restaurants in Kenya. Part of the appeal was that they felt familiar. And that's the lesson. No matter where you travel, you still take yourself with you. Some guys think, I'll just date a white woman instead. Others think switching races or countries changes everything. Maybe they're afraid of losing the relationship because that's where they're getting their affection and intimacy. They don't want to let that go. But when you weigh it against all the unnecessary drama, sometimes you're honestly better off being alone. Sometimes it's far better to choose your own peace than to keep signing up for constant chaos.